Oh,
Should be interesting.
grab your drink.
Yes. Grab a drink. Whether it's coffee, water, tea, wine, beer.
Do it.
Do it.
Because you're at Friday Night Lights
Right.
with the Stivers.
Whatever makes you relaxed on a Friday evening.
Yes.
Grab it.
That's exactly right. So this is a new segment that we are bringing to you all. You all know I love doing podcasts. It's one of my favorite things to do. However, the only thing that's normally missing in my podcast that I'm not the biggest fan of is my wife. So we have decided to try to bring some of those harder topics that a podcast might bring to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And make a segment out of it.
Yeah. It will be uncut and raw. Unless a kid needs something, then we will cut. So if you see a cut, it's because a child needed assistance.
Yeah. Or when you take a break, take a break. No, but seriously, the thought process of why we want to do this. We are the lighthearted, smiley, laughy YouTube channel, right? Like a lot of you all know that from us. You all enjoy that. However, we are also deep. Like we can be deep, believe it or not. And we have a lot of thoughts and we have a lot of care for people. And we know people go through a lot of things. They go unspoken. And we want to bring that out and talk a little bit more about it. Make you feel like you're not alone. Make you feel like this is something that you can relate to and potentially help you get through it.
Right. So we asked on all of our social media, YouTube, Facebook, all the Facebook groups, what should our topics be? Because we have a lot of things in mind, but we also want to know from y'all because we want it to be relatable. The very first comment was talking about divorce, how we got to it and how we overcame it. So that is going to be our topic tonight.
Yeah, so whenever we tell a story, we like to do like a kind of a how, what, and why situation. So first off, divorce. What? What is this?
Yeah.
So divorce is something that comes up that what we've seen. First off, there's like two different aspects. Like younger couples that are just freshly married. They're a couple years in. There's the divorce topic being brought up, which was our situation. Mm-hmm. Then there's the older group, the ones that have been married for 20, 30 years. And then the divorce topic gets brought up because they like got through the kid situation, right? Like their kids are out of high school, they're more on their own, they can handle themselves. And then now it gets brought up. So that's like our two primary areas that we see divorce pop up. However, that doesn't mean it doesn't come anywhere in between, because that topic gets brought up a lot. When you get married, you're marrying your best friend, and
you're supposed to.
Yeah, and hopefully that's how you feel. Like hopefully that is your best friend. So what we're talking about is specifically to the ones that are. So the ones that know there's love.
If you're not marrying your best friend, something's wrong.
Right.
You should marry your best friend.
Right. And to us, divorce should never be the decision unless it's a circumstance that it wasn't the right person.
Right.
They're harming you in some way. They are not treating you right.
Toxic abuse.
Right.
Kids are involved and it's a bad situation. Anything like that, obviously divorce is a good scenario for.
Right, exactly. And so it's such a sensitive topic that you're almost scared to talk about. Mm-hmm. And so it's
taboo.
Right, it really is. Yeah. And so before we get into really talking about divorce, let's tell our story first. So we posted a video. It's been 2 years now, right? Mm-hmm. We posted a video 2 years ago about us getting divorced about 4 years ago. And it really was all around a third child.
Yeah.
So, that was, we've talked about this a lot. It was the
kicker. It was kind of the cherry on top.
Right.
The issue of having a third child kind of brought it to a head, and it almost made us face divorce. But really, divorce was on the table from almost day one, because we were so young and so inexperienced and just immature. So every bad thing that came up, it was almost like, well, is divorce a solution? And
Right.
I'll be honest, it was mostly me. I was immature. I don't know, kind of backstory going into the relationship. I was kind of chased after, and that's okay. I mean, that's just being honest.
Right.
So when I got into it and I was sealed into it, literally and honestly, as a marriage, you know, you start to doubt things, especially when you have outside influences like family, which is a topic that we're going to discuss. When things go wrong, you start to think, well, is divorce an option? But it's not. It's just, you know, as a kid and you get in a relationship and you break up. When you get married as a kid, you start to think about breaking up, which is divorce. It's more serious, but it's still on the same thought process, I guess.
Right. And so when that is something that pops in your mind, it becomes too normal.
Yeah.
You start
okay.
Yeah, you start feeling like it's an out
Mm-hmm.
in a marriage. And so like at the stage that we are now, like that's not even a thought process. Like
we have matured.
Right. We've matured a lot.
We don't mention the word.
You're right. And so it's weird to like articulate on how that just comes into your mind. And like, it's just, well, I always have this. Like I always have this divorce word to get me out of a situation. But the biggest problem that I see, especially with the younger couples, is it's a very minuscule argument that is bringing that word up. And it's like you see it and you're like, listen, y'all, like I know this is hard. I know it's hard. We've been there. But it's something that you're going to get through. Like literally in a year, y'all, it might be in your memory, but you're going to be past it.
Right.
You know you will, but at the time, it's so hard to see. And I know a lot of you all are probably facing that as well. And that's not a thing about, well, you're young, you don't know. That's not what we're saying. We're young as well. I'm 30, about to be 32. She's a little bit younger than me. But it's such a minuscule argument that can escalate so quickly into, I want a divorce.
Yeah. So what are the big topics, right? Money. Everyone fights over money.
Yeah.
That's actually one thing we've never fought about.
Yeah.
Because we've been in the situation where we have no money, and we've been to the situation where we do have money.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, who cares whether you have it or you don't? Most people don't, and some people do. So it is nothing to fight over.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all going to come out in the wash.
I have begged grandparents for money to pay rent. We were actually kicked out of our duplex. We had a letter in the mail when we got home from having the birth of our son Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
It was, love y'all as renters, but you missed June because he was born in July. You've got 30 days to get out. The day we got home with Wyatt. I mean, so like we've been there. We've been there.
Never fought about the money. What's another thing? Family, outside influences.
It's a big one for us.
Cheating, adultery. That's another one.
Yeah.
That's a huge one.
Not a big one for us.
not for us. That has never happened, and God willing, it never will. But mostly family, right?
Yeah, family, money, and I would probably say those are the top two. And then probably if you go to the older side, like the ones that the kids are out, it's just
freedom. Tired, freedom.
Yeah. Wanting freedom. So all of these things like run through our heads, and then it's like, did we forget that day? Did we forget the day we got married and what we said to our spouse and how much we felt? And that, I mean, all the way down to the details of your toes tingling, of your knees feeling wobbly as you saw them cross the corner. I still remember to this moment when she turned the corner of the door. We got married in a very small little chapel in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And when she turned, and it's so funny because they always warn you.
Pregnant belly and all.
Yeah. She was pregnant. She was about 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months pregnant with Wyatt, and I've never seen a more beautiful person in my entire life. But they always tell you, like, don't lock your legs because you'll probably pass out. Like, keep a little bend into them. And I was like, what are you? Like, I don't even know if I bend my knees or keep them straight. Like, what kind of statement is that? But I realized that when she crossed that, like, I can still see it to this day. So everybody that talks about divorce, I'm like, remember that moment. Mm-hmm. Remember that moment when all the butterflies were in your tummy and all the love and the just happiness overflowed you when you got married to your best friend.
Yeah. Remember the dating,
Yeah.
Remember the times you went out together before there was anyone else to hear, before your friends came along and said, hey man, she might not be right for you. Or hey girl, I don't like him. Remember those times. Remember the times alone when it's just you and them, when you're with your best friend. Go back to that. Even when it's so hard to get to, we've been there.
Mhm.
We have sat on the couch on opposite ends because we didn't have chairs, but we sat on the opposite ends of the couch and just glared at each other and didn't speak a word for weeks on end because we were mad, we were angry, we didn't have anything nice to say, and we would just sit there out of anger and not move forward. But I think in those times, you know, like you said, we both remember your wedding. Remember when you dated each other. Remember when your child came into this world and you celebrated it together. Go back to that moment because that person is still there. No matter how mad you are at them, no matter how much their face disgusts you because you're so angry, just put yourself back in that place and you will always get back there.
She's exactly right. Just remember when you're in the middle of so much hate, remember the moment you put the ring on your spouse's finger. So you're thinking, yeah, Zach and Jen, that's cool. Y'all made it through. Happy for you all. I'm sitting here struggling. Well, what we're trying to do this video for is we are a success story.
Mm-hmm.
It was, by God, this close.
So close.
I mean, it was scary how close it was, but we made it through it. And what we're trying to tell you is you can too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you absolutely can. If you're watching this video and your spouse isn't, get it on there.
Yeah.
Watch it together. Figure this thing out because you can. You absolutely can. There is nothing in this world that's telling you that, yep, you said the word divorce, we're making it happen today. You can always come back from that. You married this person. You love each other. You can get through anything together. You can say the harshest words in the entire world to one another, and you can still make it through it, survive, thrive, and love one another and forgive because that is what you said in your vows.
Mm-hmm.
So do not think that you're too far in. Do not think that this is no way to come back. It's over. I got to go to a lawyer. That moment is never there unless you decide to do it.
That's right.
So how do you fix this?
First of all, like he said, get your spouse to watch this video. Bring them in, watch it a million times, whatever you have to do. Right now at the end, I want you to turn to each other, let go of the anger, look each other in the eyes, and look at each other and say, let's fix this. Let's do it right now. Let's commit and let's fix this. After that, give each other a big old smacking kiss, whether you want to or not. I don't care if you don't want to. Do it anyway because that's your spouse. Kiss them on the lips and make it worth it.
Yeah.
After that, plan a date. Set it down. If you have kids, call the babysitter right now, grandparents. Say, listen, we need you to watch these babies this weekend. It may not be the best situation, but it's going to be all right. They'll survive, and kids are resilient. They're going to be just fine. Set it up and plan a date. Go to somewhere that is familiar to you both or somewhere brand new. If, you know, hard times in the past are hard, you don't want to go back there, go to somewhere brand new. Somewhere that you don't have memories, you know, bad memories, whatever, tainted something. Go somewhere brand new with each other, just you two, and sit down and have the best date like you just started dating.
She actually said something that really just like kicked a little nerve in my head. We love Lee Brice. That actually kicks in. Lee Brice, he's a country singer if you're unfamiliar. There's a lot of songs he sung right when we were first dating that really like click with us, like when we hear it. Like I hear it all the time. Well, he just came out with a new song called A Memory I Don't Mess With. And so, you know, you have those. You all have a memory with that person that's probably sitting beside you while you watch this that y'all aren't talking to. There's a memory.
Probably your memory holder.
Yeah, exactly. You're the holder of my memories. And he's sitting there or she's sitting there and you're just thinking about it. And you're thinking about everything but that good memory. And that's the problem, because when we get into this mindset, well, all we think about is, well, they do this and they do that, and I can't stand this and I can't stand that. Y'all, your best friends get on your nerves too.
Yes.
I mean, right? Like they get on your nerves. I mean, it happens. we're all different, and that's what makes us beautiful. But that also means that we're not alike.
Right.
And 100%. We love them for everything that they are, but there's tendencies that get on our nerves. Quit thinking about those and think about those memories that you wouldn't mess with, because I know that we have them, and I know that you have them as well. And those are the ones that you need to replicate to try to help get yourself out of this.
Yep. Do it. Set it up right this moment. I don't care what else you think you have better to do. You have nothing better to do today than fix your marriage.
Yep.
Fix the relationship you have with the parent of your child, your best friend, your one and only. Fix it. Today is the time. Do it and go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Because you can.
Yeah.
Only you all can make the decision. There's no one else that can for you. But I can tell you right now, you're not too deep in. Even if you filed for divorce, you can still get out.
Yes.
You can still stop this. You can still make it work if that is your best friend. If you all still love each other, or if you feel the slightest peace in your heart that is still my best friend, stop it now. Try again, and try over, and try over, and try over, until you all can make it work. Because I guarantee you what you're going through is a small situation that will pass over, and in a year, you'll be thinking about each other.
That's right. Gosh, I hope obviously not everyone who watches this is going to relate or resonate.
Not everybody's going through a divorce.
Right. But gosh, I hope it touched someone that does. And if it does, for you, please let us know, because that would mean the world to us. We watched so many people that helped our marriage, and honestly, if we hadn't watched a YouTube video, we wouldn't be here today.
Right.
So thank God for that, and thank God for you, and I just hope that this touches you in some way.
So there's your first episode of Friday Night Lights. I hope you all enjoyed that. Again, our plan is to have a different topic to show you all and talk to you all about every Friday night. So please also comment down below. Things that are heavy on your heart. I mean, there's no limits here.
Nothing is off limits.
Right. Because the one thing about us is we're extremely truthful.
Yes.
And we will tell you what's on our heart and how we feel about a situation.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're reaching everyone. Comment what you would love to hear someone talk about that maybe they don't. Again, no limits here. We love you all. If you haven't subscribed, or if you're brand new to us, please subscribe down below. We don't just do this. We also farm. We have kids. We do other fun stuff and not get so serious. But this day is specific for that.
That's right. We love y'all so much.
Until the next one.
Good night.
Bye.